So, what is the fear of abandonment? It's honestly exactly what it sounds like, but by definition, is when entitled expectations of people to satisfy their needs while fearing they will fail to do so. So, this is basically when you understand you are in a toxic situation, right? But you have the fear of being alone that you'll just do whatever that this person tells you to. They might have unrealistic expectations of you, but and maybe they'll even know that you won't do hit any of these expectations that they set. But both of them are codependent on each other. There's that word again to always be together because you guys just don't want to be alone. You guys don't know what it feels like. You guys don't want to know what it feels like. This could be toxic because, well, one, you shouldn't have expectations of people if you think they're not going to hit it. You should guide them to do it, but just not thinking they'll be able to achieve it is plain and simple, like wrong. I feel like, and I feel like a lot of people will feel that. But it's also very toxic in the way that if you're never alone, right, in your life, being whatever, how it is, whatever situation it is, you will never understand how to truly process something because you always have to be a dependent or you always have to have a second opinion, someone's second opinion about anything. Maybe you don't know how to think for yourself. It could be bad that way. It could be bad that you, again, truly never know how to process anything because you're always with somebody. So there's many ways it could be bad. But the signs of fear of abandonment, and I'll just read it off real quick, but it's on the screen if you want to look at it. It's intense feeling of separation anxiety, reluctance to fully commit, aiming to please, quickness to move on just to ensure that you don't get too attached, difficult achieving emotional intimacy, feeling insecure and unworthy of love, hypersensitive to criticism, and a quickness to attach even to unavailable partners. So these are just a couple signs of fear and abandonment, and one of them that I want to really talk about is the quickness to move on just to ensure that you don't get too attached. I feel like that's very it could be very toxic in the sense that, as I just said, if you're never alone, you can never fully process something. But this is just you don't want to get hurt, so you don't want to build that connection anyway. So I found that was very interesting. Very interesting. Being hypersensitive to criticism could be also toxic in the sense that there's a thing constructive criticism that people will critique you just for your benefit, for you to get better. But if you get upset at everything somebody tells you, there's no way you could grow as a person. And I feel like that's something like a lot of people could work on, and maybe they don't even know if that's a problem with them. Quickness to attach even to unavailable partners. This could be very dangerous in the sense that if you get quickly attached to somebody who's not currently available, that like maybe they have someone else or anything, that's a situation that could end very I don't want it could end hostile, but it could be also very toxic that you're going for somebody that's not available. So you need to process that and move on and understand that maybe you just can't have them. Reluctance to fully commit. If you don't want to fully commit to something, there's always room to improve in that situation. So you would want to fully commit in any situation that you're doing, but you don't want to because it goes back to the fact that you get too quickly attached and you don't want to fully commit on something that you think won't last. Aiming to please. Aiming to please is just what it sounds like in the sense you're just aiming to please. You're aiming to do something for someone just so they're happy, but maybe you don't care how you feel. Intense feeling of separation anxiety. That could be very toxic. It could lead to depression. It could lead to all sorts of stuff. You could be in your own mind just because you don't want to be separated from a person or something. And feeling insecure and unworthy of love, nobody should feel that way, right? And difficult achieving emotional intimacy. Again, it always goes back to processing. You need to fully process something before you could do anything else. And if you're always waiting on somebody, you may not be able to fully process on your own. So that's fear of abandonment.